Hello students, welcome in that ROSE project. This project is conducted by Ray Shikshan Samsthas, Sadhguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad. Myself is Mrs. Deshmukh NS. My subject is physics. Already we started first chapter, that is rotational dynamics. In that some point we discussed in previous lecture. In today's lecture, which points we are going to learn? We have to look on the screen first. Then we will go through them one by one. First, expression for torque in terms of moment of inertia, conservation of angular momentum, applications of conservation of angular momentum, ballet dancers, and then diving in a swimming pool during the competition, rolling motion. In that rolling motion, the linear acceleration and the speed of a particle when it is rolling down an inclined plane. Let me go through first expression. Torque of the rotating body in terms of mi, moment of inertia. We have the diagram. Consider a rigid body. It is rotating about an axis passing through the point O. That rotating body is revolving around the axis of rotation with angular velocity omega, and also that body having the constant angular acceleration alpha about an axis perpendicular to the plane. The body consists of n particle, every particle having the mass, first particle having the mass m1, second particle having the mass m2, up to that last particle having the mass ml. These all particles are present at a perpendicular distance from axis of rotation. M1 is present at a distance r1, M2 is present at a distance r2, M3 is present at a distance r3, up to that Mn, last particle, is present at a distance Rn from the axis of rotation. As the body is rotating about an axis with a constant angular acceleration, that time all the particles of the body, they are going to perform circular motion, but with their different linear tangential acceleration. That means all particle having the constant angular acceleration, but every particle having its own linear tangential acceleration. It is denoted by A. For first particle, we will get the linear acceleration. It is the multiplication of position vector and the angular acceleration. For A1, product of R1 into alpha, A2 product of R2 and alpha, An product of Rn into alpha. Similarly, if we are getting the linear acceleration, from linear acceleration we can find out the force acting on every particle. Force is nothing but product of mass into acceleration. By putting this value, we are getting the force for first particle. F1 is equal to product of M1 and A1. Putting this value, M1 multiple R1 multiple by alpha. Similarly, we can find out the torque acting on the first particle. Again, I am showing the diagram. If we are getting the force, again I am showing the same point from previous slide. So now we are finding the torque experienced by the first particle. Τ1 is equal to F1 R1. Putting this value, M1 into R1 square into alpha. Similarly, we can find out the torque experienced by second particle, third particle and n particle. Their values are as like this. Τ2 is equal to M2 into R2 square into alpha. Τ3 is equal to M3 into R3 square into alpha. For last particle, Τn is equal to Mn into Rn square into alpha. So here if we are getting the torque acting on every particle, when we are adding the torque of every particle, we are getting the total torque of a rotating body, and this value we have to find out in terms of mi. So total torque, Τ is equal to Τ1 plus Τ2 plus Τ3, adding all remaining terms up to the Τn. Putting the value, Τ is equal to M1 multiple by R1 square into alpha plus M2 multiple by R2 square into alpha plus M3 multiple by R3 square into alpha plus, by adding all terms up to that last term is there, plus Mn multiple by Rn square into alpha. Common term we are taking outside and the remaining term we are adding. For their addition, we are using the summation sign. So tau is equal to summation of mi ri square, who having the lower limit 1 and upper limit n. The whole summation is in one bracket and bracket is multiple by the alpha. But that summation is nothing but our moment of inertia. We know that. So here we have to give the reference of that. But I is equal to summation of mi ri square, I having the lower limit 1 up to the upper limit n. So finally here we will get the torque acting on a rotating body is the product of moment of inertia and the angular acceleration. So here we can say the torque of a rotating body in terms of moment of inertia. This expression will ask for 3 marks in state board. Let me move towards our new point. It is the conservation of angular momentum. Student, we learned the conservation of linear momentum in that linear motion. Similarly, here we are getting the conservation of angular momentum. In rotational motion, momentum is present there. That momentum is nothing but the angular momentum. See, any body is present there, any system is present there. On that, for the rotation of that system, torque is very important. If we are not acting the torque on that body, that time the angular momentum of the body remains constant. When we want to rotate any body, we have to apply the torque. Torque is the parallel forces. They are in opposite direction. When body want to rotate, we have to give them torque. But if the torque is not present on that body, that time the angular momentum of the body remains constant. Also, we can say in the absence of external torque, the angular momentum of the system remains constant. So here we have to find out its proof also. Consider one rotating object about an axis with the torque tau. R is the position vector from the axis of rotation. In that vector P is the linear momentum. We know that relation L is equal to R into P. So L is the angular momentum, R is the position vector, P is the linear momentum. When we are differentiating above equation of angular momentum with respect to time, what we are getting here? dl by dt is equal to d by dt in bracket R into P. We want to differentiation of product of R into P. They all are present in the vector. But just I am saying that how we are getting differentiation, we are using the rules for differentiation of two terms when they are present in product. So first of all, we are writing the first term as it is, R, multiple by differentiation of second term with respect to time. So dp by dt plus differentiation of a first term, dr by dt multiple by the second term. So dr by dt into P. But in that we have to do substitution. When linear momentum is changing with respect to time, we are getting the force. When position vector is changing with respect to time, we are getting the velocity. And another our linear momentum is nothing but the product of mass into velocity. So in the equation number 2, that means when we are differentiating the value of angular momentum with respect to time, after differentiation, which equation we got? In that equation, we are putting the value of dr by dt nothing but velocity, dp by dt is the force, P is the product of mass into velocity. And finally here we will get the changes as like that. See here, dl by dt. In that what we are putting? dr by dt means V. Okay. In that V multiple by P. P is again mass into velocity, but when any vector is multiplying by itself in vector product, its value will become 0. So vector V cross product with vector V is 0. R into F is nothing but the torque. Torque is the product of force and the perpendicular distance from the application of force and the axis of rotation. And in that, by putting all this value, the above equation will become as like this. dl by dt is equal to product of vector R and vector F. But we know R into F is the tau. Therefore, dl by dt is equal to tau. But if the torque is not present there, then it will become torque is equal to 0. Therefore, dl by dt is equal to 0. That means here the angular momentum, it remains constant. If the external torque acting on the body is 0, no external torque is present, that time the angular momentum of the body remains constant. That we understand from that conservation of angular momentum. For that angular momentum, here two applications are there where they are going to use. From that we can see one video. In that belly dancer is present there. From that we will get idea when the dancer is stretching arm and legs away from the body, that time moment of inertia is increasing, but frequency and angular speed will be decreasing. And when the ballet dancer is taking arm and that leg close to the body, she is folding that time moment of inertia decreasing, but the value of angular velocity and frequency is going to increasing. That means in that moment of inertia and angular velocity, there is the inverse proportion. So again I am showing here second application is there. See there, diving in a swimming pool. See here, a person who is ready to take a jump in that swimming pool, but what he did, whenever he is present on that board, he is stretching his body. When he is stretching his body, that time the moment of inertia is going to increasing, and when the person is going to leave the board, that time he is folding his body. He is taking his arm close to the body. Because of that, moment of inertia decreases. As the mi decreases, frequency and angular speed is increases. So in the air, he is doing the different position. He is showing his skills. He is taking the rounds. He is revolving his body. And again it will comes down. And when he has to take a jump in that swimming pool, that time again he is stretching his body. So when he is stretching his body, mi is going to increases and speed and angular velocity is going to decreases. So this is the first application of conservation of angular momentum. Here we can see another application also. See there, angular momentum of the system remains constant or conserved if external torque is not acting on that. In that diagram, the skating, the lady is going to do the dance with a skate. In that two processes are there. When she is taking arms and legs close to the body, folded arms and legs, that time her moment of inertia is decreasing, but angular speed and the frequency is increasing. And when she is stretched her arm, she is taking arm and legs away from the body, that time moment of inertia increasing, but in this case their angular velocity and frequency decreases. So two cases are there here. I1 omega 1, the product of I1 omega 1 is equal to product of I2 omega 2. It remains constant. So here when moment of inertia is greater, at that case angular velocity is smaller. So here we know in between them there is an inverse proportion. Okay, now we will go toward the next point. It is very important for JEE NEET also, rolling motion. Here we can see the diagram. The object is going to roll on that inclined plane. Here definition, in the rotational motion of a body about an axis, the axis of rotation also moves, is called the rolling motion. Here in that rolling motion we should understand first of all the definition of rotational motion. When any body is rotating about an axis passing through any point of the body, that time all particles of the body is rotating about an axis, and when that axis also move, the axis of rotation also move, that time this motion is called as a rolling motion. So here we can say rolling motion is nothing but the combination of translatory and rotatory motion. In rolling motion two motions are present, translatory motion also present and rotatory motion also present. Their examples are there. Motion of a wheel of a cycle on the road. First of all, the wheel of cycle is rotating about the axis, and also the cycle is also moving on the road. So that means wheel is present in the rolling motion. Another thing is the motion of a football rolling on surface. Also here in that rolling motion of a body, the body having the kinetic energy. But how we are finding the kinetic energy of body in rolling motion? It is nothing but the summation of kinetic energy of translation and kinetic energy of rotational. Why? When the body is present in the rolling motion, the body is also in two motion. Translation motion also body is going to perform translation motion, and body is also present in that rotatory motion. So whenever we are finding the kinetic energy of a rolling motion, we have to find the kinetic energy from translational motion, kinetic energy from rotational motion. For that we can derive a derivation. Consider a body which is rolling on an inclined plane, it having the moment of inertia I, radius of the body is r, v is the linear speed of the center of mass. In that rolling motion, the center of mass of body is always going to perform only translation motion. See, m is the mass of the body, k is the radius of gyration of body. So here we are getting I is nothing but mk square. Then just now I said total kinetic energy of a rolling motion is equal to sum of translational kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy. Now we can write, we are going to find the value of E. What is E? E is the kinetic energy of rolling. So E is equal to 1/2 mv square translational kinetic energy plus 1/2 I omega square plus 1/2 I omega square. It is a rotational kinetic energy. In that equation we are putting the value of I. I is what? Mk square. Omega is also we know. Omega means V upon R. Instead of omega square we are putting V square upon R square. Instead of I we are putting the value mk square, and then equation will become E is equal to 1/2 multiplied by m multiplied by V square first term plus 1/2 instead of omega square 1/2 multiplied by in bracket V square upon R square bracket complete multiple I. What is the value of I? In bracket mk square. If you are observing the both term from the equation, the common terms are present there. So we are taking the common terms from that two terms. Two terms are present there. So whatever common, we are taking them out. So what is the common? E is equal to 1/2 mv square. It is common. So in the first term, 1 is left. So in bracket 1 plus what is left in that second term? K square upon R square. So this is the expression for kinetic energy of a rolling. That means when the body is present in that rolling motion, it having the kinetic energy, and it is given by the equation 1/2 multiplied by m into V square multiple in bracket 1 plus K square upon R square. Bracket complete. This equation is very important whenever you are going to solve the examples. Now here we can see the one video. From that video we can understand the rolling motion of the object. It is a one inclined plane. On that some objects are present there. How they are going to roll on that inclined plane. That means they in that rolling motion they are present in that two motion. They are leaving their position and also they are revolving about the axis of rotation. So the rolling motion is the combination of translatory motion and the rotational motion. Now let me go toward the next point. Here we are getting the when the object is performing rolling motion, that object having the acceleration, linear acceleration and speed, that two values we have to find out. Now here when object is present there, that object is in pure rolling down an inclined plane. So that object having some parameter. M is the mass of rigid body, R is the radius of rigid body, theta is the angle of inclination, H is the height. When we are making angle of banking, that time we are getting the height. Now what happened? V is the linear speed of the center of mass of body. When the body comes down, when body is coming down means body is coming by rolls down. Body is present at the rest, and in this case its gravitational potential energy is decreases and it is going to convert it into kinetic energy. Now here in which energy there is a changes we can see. See, when body, first of all body is present on that inclined plane, body is present at the rest. But when body start the motion on that inclined plane, after that body start the motion, and after some time it is going to reach at the bottom of inclined plane. In that process, there is object is going to loses its potential energy and object is going to gain its kinetic energy. So from that we get the equation loss in potential energy is equal to gain in kinetic energy. So we know mgh means the potential energy. Now here gain in kinetic energy. Now here kinetic energy of a rolling, and we know in that rolling motion how we are getting the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy from translational plus kinetic energy from rotational. So mgh is equal to 1/2 multiplied by mv square plus 1/2 multiplied by I multiplied by omega square. By putting these values, here we will get next. Here we will get whatever the common terms, we are taking them out. But before taking the common terms, here we are putting the value of I and omega. Here first of all 1/2 into m into v square, it will remain as it is, plus 1/2 into m into k square, it is the value of I, and into in bracket v square upon r square. Common terms taking out of 1/2 mv square, it is common, multiple what is left in bracket 1 plus k square upon r square. So again we have to change the equation in the form of v square. At both side m is there, m is going to cancel, then v square is equal to twice gh divided by 1 plus k square upon r square. And then when the object will come at the bottom of the inclined plane, the velocity at the lowest point is equal to in root 2gh divided by 1 plus k square upon r square. This is the value of the speed in pure rolling down an inclined plane. Now here we have to find out the linear acceleration in that rolling. But from that diagram we found that yes is the linear distance, h is the angle of inclination, theta is the angle of inclination, h is the height, and s is the linear distance. So here we get the right angle triangle, and by using the harmonic function, we are using sine theta, we find out, and by simplifying the sine theta we will get the linear distance, s is equal to h upon sine theta. Here we have to find out linear acceleration. For that we are using the kinematical equation. But when object start from rest, its linear velocity, initial velocity is 0 and final velocity is v. So putting this value in that kinematical equation, v square is equal to u square plus twice as. When we are putting the value of u, it will become 0, and we are forming that equation for the a. A is equal to v square upon 2s. We have the value of v square, we have the value of s. S is the linear distance. Again I am showing that sine theta is equal to h upon s, therefore s is equal to h upon sine theta. And by putting this value, a will become, a is equal to 2gh divided by 1 plus k square upon r square into 1 upon 2s. In next term, we are going to put the value of s. Then here we will get a is equal to twice gh divided by 1 plus k square upon r square into 1 upon s, but 1 upon 2s, not only s. I have to put the value of s. What is the value of s? H upon sine theta. So 1 upon 2 into in bracket h upon sine theta. 2 is present in the place of numerator, denominator cancel. H is present at the at numerator and denominator, they are also cancel. And then sine theta is in the place of denominator. After solving and simplifying, it will come in the place of numerator. So finally here we will get a is the linear acceleration. It is equal to g sine theta divided by 1 plus k square upon r square. So in this way we get the value of linear acceleration in pure rolling down an inclined plane, the formula for velocity and the formula for acceleration and the kinetic energy of a rolling motion, they are very important when you are going to solve the numerical. In this way, we completed today's point, and in this way, our first chapter, rotational dynamics, it is also going to completed. Now, I am going to stop. I hope you understand all the things. Okay, here we are going to stop. Thank you.